I had someone on Twitter ask me, Chris, what happened to your green screen? And you guys don't want me to have that much power. You don't know what I can do with it. Rated R, you kids better be gone! Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on this video. My name is Chris. Earlier today, if you watched the latest Side Flick episode where I talked about the latest movie news going on in the industry, one of the news pieces in that video was that Sony Animation, or at least the chief there, Kristen Belson, went ahead and admitted that Sony Animation, the studio who is both responsible for the horrible Emoji movie, but the Oscar-winning Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, will be dipping their toes into more R-rated movies and PG-13 animated films. Well, since I made that video, I actually was able to come across the 3 up-and-coming R-rated / PG-13 movies that are coming out. I'm going to be breaking down here the plot for each one of these up-and-coming movies for Sony Animations. I'm going to be doing it from least exciting to most exciting. But my opinion aside, I definitely want to hear your guys' opinions. Out of these 3 films, which one gets you the most excited? And how do you feel living in a world where we're going to get more movies that are basically like Sausage Party? Alright, so if you don't know why this is happening, for one, it is because of the pandemic. Everything going on in our world right now has made it extremely hard for movie studios to be able to make live action movies with social distancing rules in place. I'm sure we're eventually going to get to a point where it'll be okay and large groups of people can come around to make awesome movies. But for right now in our world, animated films are the easiest ones to make because you can animate a movie from the comfort of your own home and you can have celebrity voice actors send in their voice works from the comfort of their own home. And even further details on why they've decided to do this, a quote here pulled from Chief Kristen Belson says, "I don't think you're going to see more family animated movies because that's very saturated. There will be more R-rated animated movies. There are a couple we're working on and we're really excited about releasing our first one. I think you're going to see PG-13 animated movies, which is something you haven't seen before. Harder action adventure sort of stuff." So with that said, let's dive into the first movie, the one that I found maybe the least exciting, that I'm like, okay, I could probably do without this one. And it is entitled Bubble, set with a release date of March 2023. Now, Bubble is actually going to be made by the same people who brought us Sausage Party. It kind of sucks, man, because if you think Sony Animation is working on more R-rated animated movies, give me Sausage Party too, okay? 2 sausages are better than 1. Well, the same team that brought us Sausage Party is actually working on another R-rated movie for Sony Animation entitled Bubble. Now, Seth Rogen, Evan Goldberg, and Matt Tolmach are the ones who are going to be bringing this to life. The description of this movie goes as, Bubble is a fictional adventure following a group of unlikely friends who come together through a monster hunting gig app. Some more details on it go, welcome to Fairhaven, a literal bubble of corporation utopia set amid the wild, imp-infested brush. The first script comedy series from Maximum Fun, Bubble tells a tale that is both contemporary and worldwide as a small band of monster killers struggle to make ends meet and find love in a nightmarish version of the gig economy. I guess it could be a lot of fun. Think of an R-rated version of the movie Onward with fairy tale creatures and monsters out there. One thing's for sure though, at least we'll get a lot of gore going on, because if this deals with a movie that has monsters and people who hunt them, there's going to be some great action to be had there. I'm just wondering what kind of celebrity voice casting can you have, because Seth Rogen always brings along great comedic people to be part of his movies. Just look at the film This Is the End. So even though the basic premise does not excite me all that much, this is still one to look forward to. The next one that I find a little more exciting than Bubble is entitled Black Knight, scheduled to come out in June of 2022. Now, one of the main reasons that this one excites me above Bubble is because it is going to be coming from the creator of Samurai Jack, Gennady Tredvosky, sorry if I mispronounced that. And even though this is the same man who brought us some of the Hotel Transylvania movies, now that he'll be stepping away from that kid family friendly aspect into a more mature setting with Black Knight, I can reference his work in Samurai Jack, specifically that last season he did for Adult Swim, and how action-packed, bloody, and fun that is. The exact synopsis that Sony Animation has here for this movie: Black Knight is an original action-adventure epic that tells the story of a highly skilled and faithful knight who, after falling to protect his king, must transform himself into the Black Knight to save the kingdom. When the creator was asked more details about the project, this is how he described it: if you take an action movie you have ever loved and you add ninjas, you get Black Knight. Okay, knights and ninjas I think are two very different things here, but I'm gonna give you a shot. Also, every time I mention the word Black Knight, I just go back to that Martin Lawrence movie that I absolutely loved as a kid. Where's my sequel to that one? Now, there is a bit of a caveat to this one. This will actually be a PG-13 movie. There's no confirmation of it being rated R, but it was included in Sony's talks when they were bringing up their more mature animated movies. And even though it might not get the R rating, it's still really cool to know that we're getting an animated film with a PG-13 rating, because I go back to a lot of anime films and just how brutal they can be with their action, actually showing blood, throwing in a few curse words here and there, having a little bit more mature themes. These will also be the kind of movies that I think will confuse parents, because they'll be right on that line of friendly for kids but also not, who might see a trailer and go, I think that's suitable for my son, and then take them to the theater and go, what am I watching?
Jimmy, close your eyes.
Really, my main excitement from this, like I said, is because it's the creator of Samurai Jack, and I love me some Samurai Jack. But now jumping on here to what I think is going to be everyone's most excited for, just because the premise of this sounds so much fun. The next movie we have here is entitled Fixed, and it's set for December 2021 to be released. This one will also be made by the same creator of Samurai Jack, but after I read the synopsis, tell me you're not already pre-ordering a ticket for this movie. The premise for Fixed is the studio's first R-rated comedy is the story of an average all-around good dog who is in love with the show Dog Next Door, and what happens when he learns that he is going to get neutered in the morning. What does a dog do with his last night out with his besties? We are getting a 3D animated movie about a dog who's about to get his balls chopped off. Sony Animation. This makes up for the Emoji Movie. We forgive you now. This sounds like a lot of fun, and again, I can see this being a movie that parents confuse for being family friendly, just because you think of any animated movie that deals with a dog and you think, oh, that's safe for my family, but when it deals with the dog getting his balls cut off, then I think it's a different story. This is the one I'm most excited to see, because it sounds like they're really going to go mature with this one, being so proud that they have it in their synopsis, the first R-rated comedy. I do wonder what kind of voice casting they'll get attached for this and how far they decide to take things. But I really want to hear from you guys out there. Now that you hear the full length of what Sony Animation is planning to do with their more mature content, which of these three movies are you most excited to see? Which ones do you think will fail? Or could these all be emoji movies? Let me know your opinions down below. Don't forget to hit that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe for more movie related content. Follow me on Twitter at 3C Film Review. As always, I'm Chris. Take care.